What's going on, guys? This is TM25MD, and I have another Duelist live for you guys today. New season. I believe I finished in the top 10 of S rank. Didn't really have much time yesterday to record, but I have time today, obviously. And I did get some requests for some budget lists. And for me, the definition of budget is anywhere from, less than 2,000 spirit. People say 1,500. I think 2,000 is reasonable. You can get 2,000 spirit like in a couple hundred gold, especially if you just start off. You get all that gold from the the guides that you do at the beginning of the game. You should be able to craft a deck pretty easily. So I think 2,000 is reasonable. But yeah, I think I got top 10. I didn't really play. I was playing my my Burnhorn list, and I think I checked. I was at number 9. With an hour left to go in the season, and I didn't check. So I know there's a lot of people laddering at the last minute that were in top 20. But yeah, I think I could have secured it. Some people are saying, "Hey, go for number 1," and honestly, I don't think I could have. Even though with my Burnhorn list, I went 21-2, which is like a 92% win rate. It's just that those guys hit S rank 3 weeks before I did, or because I hit S rank at like May 20, May 21, so 3 weeks into the season, and I started in like position 50, like 54. So it would have taken a lot more for me to do it, but I think it did okay. But anyways, this isn't about me. This is about budget lists and for you guys. So I'll be going over a budget list for each faction. I'll play one game with each. I won't be necessarily going to try and win each game, as opposed to I'm going to try and teach you guys positioning, deck building, cards to craft, and identifying win conditions. So we'll start off with Lionar, obviously. Lionar, I think, is the best faction to play when starting off a list, or excuse me, starting off the game. Some people say, I saw in Duelist Discords that the Wanderer is the best to go, and I disagree, because yes, the win condition is Wanderer and getting things to stick, but it doesn't really give you an idea on, in my opinion, on how to replace, because you only have one specific card in your deck, so that doesn't give you the idea of replacing, identifying win conditions outside of the obvious one right in front of you, identifying multiple outs. I don't think there's that clear of a process in that. So I just recommend staying away from Wanderer if you're starting off. Yes, you can get to S rank, no problem with it. But if you're looking to play all factions in different kinds of archetypes, and that's the first deck you're playing, it will not set you up to excel in this game, in my opinion. So, starting off, Lionar, very position centric. Try and get up in the fray, challenge your opponent. Very interactive. So, what do we have here? Just a standard mid range. Bloodtear Alchemist. This will be great for dealing with Riva and Ragnara, and dealing with those eggs, and dealing with Hot Seekers. So this is all around fantastic. Also can be used to clear 3 drops. 3 health minions. That's why we have Arclight Sentinel. When going second, you can clear their 3 drop. That's why 1/4 minions, like Azure Herald and Azure Hunt Shaman, are becoming popular, or have been popular. Why? Because they survive this specifically, or just Blood Tier plus General Punch in general. Because the 1/4 stat line is the best stat line for a 2-drop, because you can buff it up and it has good health. Moving on, we got 2 healing mystics. This was great with our minions. Great for putting on a silver guard, healing it back up to 5 health after hitting the general. Usually you can just win a game if you do that. So shout outs to No Way J for clarifying that further for me. Like, I know it was always great in Lionar, but for this reason specifically, you can just win games just by healing up your Silver Guard Knight. Divine Bond, got a lot of big minions in the list. Great with Lionar, you play a lot of provokes, do well. This could easily be a Primus Shield Master to lock down your opponent, but I think between Silverguard, Giago, and Ironcliff Guardian on top of the tempo cards we have in the deck. You should be fine with locking down your opponent, in my opinion. So Sword Donor is great. This deck doesn't have any draw really, so we're relying on tempo and in a good curve. But if we do need draw, Sojourner is a fantastic card to drop. You can buff it up with Roar from Argion, becomes a 3/5 and draws you cards. Fantastic. Lasting Judgment. This is great for dealing with ranged minions like Key Beholder, of which we cannot deal with Arclight Sentinel or just Blood Tier because it's at a distance. Lasting Judgment is fantastic, and you don't want to use a Martyrdom for that. Martyrdom's usually something like an oh shit scenario, so your opponent, I don't know, play something huge in your face. Linar can't deal with big minions. Martyrdom is there to remove that. We can easily make this Repulsor Beast, but I think getting the idea of running hard removal in your list and when to use it and when to preserve it is fantastic, so that's why I have Martyrdom in here. Primus Fist, this is great for trading, especially with Argion. You have Roar, Primus Fist, you can deal a lot of damage that way. Suntide Maiden, this minion sticks if you can't deal 6 to it right away. Fantastic. As I said before, you can usually make this Primary Shield Master, but this sticks a lot better. And with Roar, it becomes a 5/6 that heals itself every turn. Fantastic. Demands Dispel or removal, or just inefficient trading. So Dancing Blade's fantastic tempo. You can play me specifically if I had a lot of draw on the list, or sufficient amount of draw, like Trinity Oath. On 6 mana, you could do something like Blood Tier Alchemist and and Dancing Blades, and you'll clear anything with 4 health. Pretty good. Giago's here. Just another minion that you can use Divine Bond with, and it's just annoying to deal with, so it allows you to put up a lot of pressure with Divine Bond if it's not removed, and if your opponent wants to start trading into it, this thing's attack keeps getting raised higher and higher, and if they don't attack it, then it's just going to stick there. You can roar it up to make it have 3 attack, just like an Ironcliff Guardian, and you're good there. So Ironcliff Guardian is just great, just for throwing it into your opponent from wherever. And we have 2 EMPs, because we need some Dispel, and it's a great late game. And if it's not removed, we can Divine Bond it, and it's 14 damage right there. That's Budget Liner. Budget Songhai. This is one of the cheaper lists. This one's all my decks are under 2,000. But this is one of the cheaper ones, and this was one of the harder ones to build. This and Abyssian. Songhai and Abyssian really like their expensive cards. Actually, before I even go into Songhai, I'll go over what cards to craft. What cards to craft when playing Linar. So first things right off the bat, if you want to draw, craft something right away, it would be Trinity Oath. This is fantastic. Actually, I should probably do epics. Fantastic. You have a lot of options that you can go for, but if there was a card that you would want to craft right off the bat, it would be Trinity Oath and Holy Immolation, depending on your preference. You can get away without Trinity Oath with cards like Blazehound. If you already have Spelljammer, you can run that, or Sojourners, so you can run all those draw cards, which is just fine. So you can dump your resources into Holy Immolation. Those would be the cards that I would craft first. As for legendaries, there's nothing really else for epics that you really need, unless you want to play Braum. Then you can go with Aurora. But as for legendaries, you want to go with if you want to stick with the Divine Bond lists, Aegis Barrier and Arclight Regalia would be your definite choice. Though Dawn's Eye being buffed to 5 mana, you can definitely invest in that. But if I had to choose on what to craft first, it would definitely be Arclight Regalia because of the value it gets, and then Aperion's Claim, as it is fantastic. Or if you just want to go, you don't want to invest too much into spells, you can craft 3 Titans and you can have a good time there. That would give you a lot of value for 2700 Spirit. Craft 3 Titans. You don't have to buy any spells, craft any spells. Just throw your all your minions in there, and you have a win condition on its own. So I actually, maybe you could craft this before Arclight Regalia, simply because of the power, and it has a requirement, but in terms of crafting and spirit, this is probably the best bang for your buck. So Titan is great. Okay, so let's move on to Songhai. This is one of the harder ones. I said they really like their epic minions. So, and I'm keeping this in mind that you will play a lot of Wanderer as of right now, and the best way to combat them is with artifacts, of which it's really hard to do on a budget, or B, you got to aggro them down. So most of my lists will try and get to that point and just beat down Wanderer before they can just start snowballing you after it's dropped. So it's really tough without Juxtaposition. Juxtaposition is a very powerful and staple card to aggro Songhai, but we have to make do with what we got. This was actually the cheapest list. Very low curve, doesn't go anything above 3 mana, as you can see. Why Mizuchi over something like Mind Cage Oni? Why? A lot of people will be using their face, especially in the lower divisions like bronze and silver. And gold, people will be using their face a lot more recklessly. And plus, a lot of people won't suspect Mizuchi in Riva, right? In Kalios, yeah, they might think of it a little bit more. But this card can get you a lot of value and deal a lot of damage. Clear the board, etc., whatever you want it to do. And it can be inner-focused, so that's another plus right there. Thing is, with aggro Songhai, they really like their card draw, so we gotta, not only preserve our hand well, but we also gotta have to, incorporate a lot of draw. So that's why we have things like Otatsu over something like Blood Tear, because it draws itself, deals with pings, deals with Ragnar, deals with Riva mirrors. It's great there. We also have Surge Artist for more draw, Blaze Hounds for more draw, and it's great for being aggressive when going second, turn 1. Killing Edge, obviously. Ethereal Blades is fantastic. That can equate to, that's pretty much 4 damage spread out, right? So it's fantastic there. Cryptographer is great. This could easily be something like Scroll Bandit if you have the resources. So I'll talk about that on what to craft first. This can easily be Scroll Bandit. And yeah, you'll just get a lot of value there. So this can be Scroll Bandit, so you can cut that. But Kaido Assassin actually does have some benefits over Scroll Bandit in the one attack more that it has. It can clear with the Mist Dragon Seal minions that have 4 health, whereas Scroll Bandit cannot. It can only kill minions with 3 health, so it can kill 1/4s if you really want to gain that tempo. So there are some benefits to running Kaido Assassin. So pretty much this is an obvious aggro list. As to Kiba holders are really good against Linar, since we do not have Juxtaposition. Can keep those minions at bay, force them to deal with it with cards like Tempest, Lasting Judgment. Not many people run Lasting Judgment, but I think it's a really good card right now. So I might actually run it in some of my Linar lists if I do run that archetype myself. Kiba holder, fantastic there. Great card in general. Can be inner-focused. Killing Edge on 7 mana. And that's 7 damage. Not bad. So yeah, aggro list, pretty standard. Lots of draw. If you want to keep with this archetype, I think aggro, you can definitely check out Alpha Sentry. He has an updated aggro Songhai list. So cards to be crafting first would be Epics, obviously, because that's where their power plays are. So Battle Pando and Lantern Fox, I would probably craft Battle Pando first before Lantern Fox. But before those, you should craft Juxtaposition. Having all the movement spells, or 6 movement spells, is fantastic. Not only can you net you a lot of value in terms of backstab, but it can also be used as a removal, right? Put something in the corner and then juxt it back in. Fantastic. So my order would be Juxtaposition, Battle Pando, Lantern Fox, and then Scroll Bandit or Bakazori. Bakazori can easily replace something like Blaze Hound, right? Even though it's 1 mana more. But as I said, you really want all the draw in this list because you will be going through cards like it's no tomorrow. And it's a fantastic stat line. So whenever this card is moved, draw a card. It's basically a better Mogwai, so it feels bad, man. No, it feels bad for Mogwai, but it's just such a good draw card, and it's huge. Mist Dragon Seal becomes a 3/7. It's a threat while drawing you cards at that. So That would be something to consider as well as one of your first epics to craft. Legendaries, you really don't need any. You can duel without them. Obviously, the ones you should craft first would probably be Zendo and Calligrapher, depending on what you want. Combo, if you want a combo list, then Zendo would be that. If you're looking to do aggro / mid-range, then Calligrapher can be more useful to you. Why? Because it can just draw you the cards right after it attacks, so it's fantastic there. You can also be inner focused as well. Painter, if you're looking for mid-range. Tusk Boar, if you're looking to play a combo list or an aggro list as that. And if you're looking to play like a spell high or an artifact list as your first expensive deck, then a Crescent Spear would be fantastic there. So those would be the cards to consider. Moving on, Vitruvian. You probably know where this is going. Obelisks, right? Looking to overwhelm your opponent with value. This is good against Wanderers. They need their Dispel, which is very limited. They have one Lightbender, maybe one Shroud, and probably just one EMP, obviously. But those are expensive, so you can get those Obelisks down early before they can be dispelled. And obviously you can play around Lightbender by positioning correctly. So we got Obelisks, we got Dunecasters, we got a lot of synergy, including Pax. Pax is fantastic, can get you a lot of value. You can also set up for a nice Science Second Wish. Gives you a 4/4 that can hit the general for free pretty much every time and not get punished. So that can work there. 2 Inner Oasis over Reassemble. Why? We can play around Dispel. Plus, I haven't seen a lot of Dispel, to be quite honest with you, outside of the EMP. So Inner Oasis is fantastic. It also draws you a card. And it's just good not just for Obelisks, buffing their HP up to 11, or excuse me, not 11, to 9, and the Lava Storm Obelisk up to 7. But it can also buff your Dervishes to 5 health, right? Your Poop Dervishes from Pax to 5 health. Also fantastic with what the cards we have here. Shield Master up to 9 health, Sandswell Reader up to 6 health, Starfire Scarab up to 9 health. But it's just overall, in general, a fantastic card. So. Why do I have 2 Science Second Wish? Because, yes, we have Obelisks, and it's not really that good to play Science Second Wish with an Obelisk. It's really good to play it on something else, on our 4 to 5 mana slots, right? And why did I include it here? Shield Master. I think Primus Shield Master is fantastic in an Obelisk list. Why? Because it means they have to deal with this and Obelisks, and all of these minions having 6 health makes it very difficult to deal with. Locks down your opponent, makes what they can play that turn very limited. And if you happen to throw a Science Second Wish on this, becomes a 5/8. Your opponent can no longer hit it, and they're taking 5 damage, which is fantastic. You can even throw it on Falcius or Sandswell Reader. They become 5/5s, or even Sojourner. Sojourner is very good value with it. You can make this a 3/7 that can hit the general, draw cards, and they have to deal with it, right? They'll just keep drawing you cards and dealing 3 damage for free every time. So fantastic. Sandswell Reader, Blood of Air is our control package along with Falcius. And we also have Starfire Scarab. I really firmly believe in this card. As I've used this before, I've used this in constructed decks in S-Rank. Fantastic. Pretty much your opponent has to answer this, or this thing will just start laying waste to your minion, to your opponent, right? You have to deal with it. The spell's okay against it, right? But you can't EMP it. It comes out 2 turns before EMP, so you need another way of dealing with it. Even if you do dispel it, right? It's a 4/6. It's a big body. Really doesn't die to anything. Doesn't die to Magbar removal. Rebuke and Plasma Storm into Voiced. Upper hand, you have to have a full hand, but you can easily play around that. It dies to Vitruvian removal, but Vitruvian has a difficulty dealing with multiple minions at once, in which Obelisks are fantastic. Songhai has a very difficult time dealing with Obelisks, and lots of minions in general, so you can deal with Songhai. Lionar is a little bit difficult. Lionar cannot deal with this. Aperian's Claim, again, is 2 turns too late. They need Sunbloom, which again It only deals with it temporarily. Like you get rid of the blast, but it's still 4/6. Has a lot of health. It also forces the martyrdom, and not many people are running martyrdom, so it's fantastic there. Abyssian, ping punish with Cassava is one way of dealing it. Ritual banishing is another with Lilith, but in general, this thing is going to be fantastic against pretty much every single faction. Very limited ways to deal with this. I guess Vanar has the best way to deal with it. They can just transform it for cheap. But that's this. Cards to craft epics. Portal Guardian would probably be my first craft. Let me double check on what you would probably be. Portal Guardian. Yeah, Portal Guardian would be my first thing to craft. It's an 8 health minion for 3 mana. And if you play Xerix, you can pretty much buff this guy up to sky high levels. So Portal Guardian is fantastic there. Also has Frenzy, so if you want to do something with Astral Phasing, it would really appreciate that. It would have 13 health with Flying and Frenzy, and that's insane actually, especially if you get its attack up. So you got that. That would be my first card to craft. If you want to stick with Obelisks, then Rasha's Curse and Elementor would be also cards that I would recommend crafting first. I think that'll be it. You can do with Gust as well. It's not, you don't need it, but it's great to have. Same with Star's Fury. In those scenarios in which your opponent plays a lot of, plays a very low curve, these cards are very good against it. I think that's it. Pantheron's a nice meme. Even though it got buffed, but it's hilarious. As for legendaries, cards you want to craft first, Swarm King Scarab, fantastic. Just like a pretty much just a better Starfire Scarab for 1 more mana. It's fantastic, can easily close out games. Next would be Cataclysmic Fault. In my opinion, this can just win you the game, right? You play this, and your opponent has to deal with 5 dervishes every round. This also goes well with Kunun Milka, so you can craft. I don't recommend playing 3 of these. If you do craft it, craft 2. If you want to play Sifron, Grapnel, Sifron's it's a very specific type of game. It's more control oriented, so that may demand more resources, more spirit. But you can easily play a Golem game and craft Sirocco's. That's good there. Amara Healer. It's a little slow. Same with Nimbus. But if you want it, go for it. But the Vitruvian legendaries are all pretty good. So, but I would recommend as my top 2, Swarm King Scarab and Cataclysmic Fault. Trigon Obelisk is great as well if you want to stick with the Obelisk as well. Same with Zion's Third Wish. Yeah, and Nimbus too. Nimbus goes well with Obelisk as well. So that's Vitruvian, cards to craft. What do we have left? Abyssian, Magmar, and Vanar. Alright, so we'll go with Abyssian next. This one's also very difficult. Abyssian really appreciates their expensive cards, right? Cards like Desolator, Deathfire Crescendo, Soul Grimoire. So if you want to play the Swarm game, those are the cards to go for. But we'll start off. This is like a kind of like a Swarm list with some somewhat bigger minions. But our win condition on top of tempo would be either Shadow Dancer or Fear Chakram. So, and obviously the general we'll be using is Lilith, because after a Chakram buff, they have 3 attack. So you can easily get a lot of value from that, and or just kill your opponent. So, moving on, we got a very low curve, obviously, and looking to generate a lot of minions. So we have things like Furiosa, Cryptographer, Gloom Chaser, that generates a lot. Bloodchill Alchemist, again, ping is always good to have. I always recommend running Alchemists in pretty much any list if you can. 3 Demonic Lure for removal, as well as 2 Ritual Banishing. Card draw is going to be an issue, so I threw in 3 Blazehounds. Can easily throw in some Sojourners as well. Actually, you can even run, this is a more aggressive list, so that's why I went with Blaze Hound, but you can easily make this a Sojourner. Sojourner with Chakram is 3 attack with Frenzy and draws you cards every time to deal damage, so actually think about it now, I might change it to Sojourner for that reason, because Sojourner, whenever it deals damage, it draws a card, so if it hits 2 minions or 2 targets, you'll draw 2 cards and deal 3 damage AoE, which is actually fantastic, so I'm actually going to consider Sojourner right now, so let's get rid of the Blaze Hound for Sojourner. Sorry about that, but I just thought of that right now. I originally had Sojourner when I was building this list. Then I took it out for whatever reason. Oh, I took it out for Night Watchers, or Shadow Watchers, excuse me, because I think that would be pretty good. You know, something to deal with. It's difficult to deal with in the lower tiers in Bronze and Silver and Gold. So it's fantastic in that regard. So Shadow Watcher, great. Blood Tide Priestess, great for keeping the swarm up and having minions on the board. I love it. Primal Shield Master is great as well. I have 2 copies of that in there. Not just because you can buff this up with Chakra, but it also helps you preserve your minions. It's a 3/6. Your opponents, if they can't deal with it right away, it's going to keep your minions alive for another turn, which means on the next turn you can play Fear or Chakra and get some value there. Dancing Blades goes very well with Primal Shield Master, right? You play Primal Shield Master into Dancing Blades the following turn, you got a lot of value there, and some pretty sizable minions. So cards to craft. As for epics, really, if you can do without most of the Abyssian epics, right? As you can see, there's not a whole lot of good ones. Necrotic Sphere, if you're looking to play like in a control list, Rider of the Undervault, I don't really like this card. I think, if anything, this needed a buff, or just a redesign, because right now I don't think it's worth playing. You can just play other draw cards and get more value that way. But if you were to craft some epics first, it would be, in my opinion, Spectral Blade. You get a lot of value from this card. It's fantastic. Carrion Collector is good as well. Same with Lurking Fear if you want to go that Dying Wish route. And Reaper of the Nine Moons. This card's bonkers. So I would play this. I would craft this if you can right away. But their powerhouse cards are not so much in the legendary, or excuse me, in the epic slot. It's in the legendary slot. Here, this is where pretty much most of your win conditions are. You got Death Knell if you want to run Arcanist. You got Klaxon if you want to creep. Vorpal, Dying Wish, Swarm, whatever. Variax again with Swarm control. Tormentor's bad. Nether Summoning's Sleep are good. So if the meta switches to somewhat big minions, throw in a Nether Summoning. Fantastic. Obliterate's great with creep, obviously. So I'm not going to tell you which one to craft first, because it depends on what route you want to go with Abyssian. And I already mentioned each one of which route these cards would go well in. Soul Grimoire and Deathfire Crescendo will go fantastic in obviously Swarm. These cards are just fun cards to run. I don't recommend running them or crafting them right away, excuse me. But if there was one card that I would craft right away, because it can go well in pretty much any Abyssian deck, would be Desolator. It keeps your hand high. It keeps your health pool high. It's a late game win condition if you're pretty much any Abyssian in general. Better in it's better in cast, obviously, because you can Maeve can use it too on 9 mana, but you're only healing for 2 if you use your Bloodbound spell. But this card pretty much goes well on any Abyssian list. I would recommend crafting that first if you had the option to. So moving on, we're getting there. It's gonna be a long episode, guys. We also have Magmar. My obvious go-to general would be Voth. Why? He allows you to trade efficiently with his own Bloodbound spell. +1 attack. He's a win condition of his own, just by increasing his attack to high levels. Bloodtear Alchemist, as I said, before. It's great in pretty much any list. It's especially good in Magmar, as they have very difficult time dealing with minions at a distance. So range minions, Heartseekers will put in a lot of work against you, so that's why you have Blood Tier in here. Greater Fortitude. This card will net you a lot of value. I used it in my Drawhorn list, and it's just really good. You play it on a minion like turn 1, and you can get a lot of value there, especially on a 3-drop, something like Ragebinder or Pterodon. So that's a flex spot right here in Ragebinder. You can easily make that a Pterodon, which is a 2/8 just vanilla minion. It's great. And we're pretty much just playing a mid-range list. We have Grow in here. We have Voth's Brutality for some control, as well as increasing our General's attack. Young Silithar is very good. As a turn 1 play, very few things can deal with it. Turn 1, right? Young Silithar is just known for just being sticky, and that's what it does best. We have Ragebinder and Golem Metallurgist, great for when you're going second. You can play these 2 cards and take the center, which allows you to ramp into something like Dancing Blades. We also have Flash Reincarnation for cards like Sunsteel. You can play this turn 1 when going first. Yes, it was nerfed to 4 attacks, so it can die to its own Plasma Storm. But I don't think we're going to be too concerned about that. 2 Plasma Storms to deal with a bunch of little minions. Swarm, or a very low curve deck. Plasma Storm is very good there. Reason why I included this in a budget, because I really think if there's cards to craft right away, it would be Mecanter. So if you have this, and 3 Mecanters only costs 1,050 spirit, so just about 1,100, and that's obviously within budget. You can obviously use vanilla cards like Natural Selection and Adamantine Claws to fill in the rest if you want to keep it under 2,000. But if there was one card to craft right off the bat as Magmar, it would be Mecanter Warbeast. And that's why I have it Greater Fortitude and Flash Reincarnation in the deck. You can play it on 5 mana, Greater Fortitude to it, and you have a 6 damage AoE, and it sticks at 2 health. So that's pretty fantastic. So that's why I have it in here as a budget option. Why? Because it's absolutely essential to craft right away. It's just that good, in my opinion. So cards to craft afterwards, after Mecanter Warbeast, would be Homeostatic Rebuke. It's a great control option, very fitting for large minions. But if there were cards to craft right away, for the epics, it would be Lava Slasher. In no particular order, Lava Slasher or Rebuke would be my top priority. And then Zoetic Charm if you want to play Ragnarok. So if you want to play Ragnarok, Zoetic Charm is fantastic for that. It gets your eggs a little bit more flexibility in how you can position it. They'll likely stick unless your opponent can remove the charm right away. Everything else is niche, though Visionar is actually pretty good now, so you can definitely run that in a Starhorn list. And with Flash, it becomes a 6/5 turn 1 when going second, and that's it's pretty good value. And it only gets bigger if your opponent cannot deal with it. So legendaries, first things to craft in my opinion would be Saurian Finality. If you want to go the egg route, then Extinction Event, but you can do it without it. Warren Curve is good, but with the nerf, you can definitely go with a lower curve. But that combo for 15 damage is still there, but it's on 8 mana now. So yeah, I think that's everything for Drogon. If you want to play Voth, that actually, if you want to stick with Voth, then Drogon would probably be a card to craft first, and then Saurian Finality as well. Though you can argue that you want Saurian Finality first because it gives you that 10 health and that 3 extra attack to Voth. And then usually having like 6-7 attack is going to clean the game anyway, so you could craft that before Drogon. So everything else you can do without, really. Progenitor is great again with Ragnarok. Vindicator is more of a specific deck. This is again with a specific deck as well. Oro Scizor is pretty good. It has an amazing animation, but it's just pretty much like a Pterodon or a Rage Binder. It just has an additional effect that you can use with grow lists if you want to go that route, but you definitely don't have to spend all that spirit on it. That's pretty much it for legendaries in Magmar. I will talk about Decimus though. If you want to go with an aggro list or a burn list with Starhorn, then obviously one of your top crafting picks would be Decimus for his combination with spikes, tectonic spikes, 9 damage, potentially 11 if you have Bloodbound spell available, and with Flash you can do it on 5 mana and deal a lot of damage and refill your hand at that. So if you really want to go that route, you can definitely do so. And lastly, we have Budget Vanar, which we will be using Fae. This one's an interesting list, to be honest. We're going with a mid-range / aggro list. We do have EMP. We do have a couple control options in EMP, Frostburn, and Dancing Blades. But we'll be looking to control the board. All 3 of their Sentinels are fantastic. I ran all of them. Only 2 Jake Dowagers, because your opponent can probably play around it once they see 1. That's the beauty about running all 3. Your opponent really doesn't know what you're going to do. Snowpiercer is great for clearing Silverguard Knights and for just going face in general. It's fantastic value for 3 mana. So we've got a lot of plays in the 3 mana slot, and rightfully so for an aggro list. But we also have Primus Fist, Crystal Cloaker, Cost Sister. Only 2 chromatic holds. Since we're playing an aggro list, this is great against things like Wanderer. Your opponent plays like Flash Wanderer, like, oh no, I can't do anything. You can either aspect it or you can just send it back to their hand, and chances are they won't play it again. And then we have Blood Cheer as same reasons as I said before. It's fantastic. Azure Herald is great as well for keeping our health high. A little bit of healing. Not really a whole lot going on in this list. It's pretty straightforward. Vanar has expensive cards for their specific archetypes that they play. So like Walls would be using things like Gravity Well, which is a legendary. I'll just do legendary. So if you want to play Wall Vanar, then you could craft cards like Aspect of the Mountain for some control option, Gravity Well, obviously, for some great early game and just stalling in general. It's fantastic there. Ice Age and Winter's Wake will get you a lot of value. Are your win conditions in wall lists. Ghost Seraphim is great in a mid-range list as well. You can combo it with like Reflection and whatnot, but you can only do that on 9 mana now, since it was nerfed to the first spell you cast. It only costs 5 less, so you can't play that right away. You would have to play it on 9 mana, or reduce the cost of it. Cloud Caller is another notable card that you would want to run in like a mid-range tempo list, right? You can definitely throw it in there alongside Dancing Blades, and you got a lot of plays you can do. So you play this on 5, you can play this on 6 with your Bloodbound spell up, and it's great there. But actually, if there were cards to craft right away, it would be Gravity Well for 1. Where is it? Malicious Wisp is probably the obvious choice to craft right away with the value it can get you, right? It can allow you to ramp higher and keep your opponent pretty much playing the same turn they had last turn. So it's fantastic in that regard. The only other epics that are worth crafting would be like Spirit of the Wild if you're playing like a combo list with Ghost Seraphim or with Mechazor. That would be worth considering as well. But everything else for epics you can do without. So that's Budget Vanar, and I'll do 1 game with each and go from there. If we win, cool. If we don't, fantastic. It's just pretty much how we're playing the list. So we'll start off with Vanar. See what we get. This one's the most is the best faction to play starting off, in my opinion. or the best general. And what I mean by best, as in it's like, you know, the easiest to learn. Not in terms of effectiveness, but all the generals are good, relatively. So we got Sifron first. So the important using our Bloodbound spell will be important. I do like Healing Mystic. I do like EMP, but I think it's a little early for that. Same with the Healing Mystic. We don't have like Silverguard Knight, but Dancing Blades will be good. I don't know what kind of list he's running. But I would imagine it's a control list. You got to be wary of things like Kron. Dancing Blades is, you know, pretty good against Kron, right? You Dancing Blades it, and then you can punch it with your general. So yeah, got to be wary of our hand size as well. Let's see what he has. This looks like a Golem move, like a Celebrant if I ever saw one. He can ramp into Blood of Air, which is pretty good. So it's important to know how we're going to, you know, maintain board here. Bloodtear Alchemist plus Arclight Sentinel does not clear, as I said. 1/4s are the ideal stat line for 2-drops, not just for this reason, but for other reasons as well. I don't think we'll need 2 Dancing Blades at this point. Lasting Judgment. That'd be good if we had Bloodtear Alchemist. But it's not exactly the strongest play if we'd had Bloodtear in hand. Because it means our Bloodtear can die to something like a Bone Swarm. So, I do like this. Just try and take the center. Call it a turn. It's a little early for Divine Bond, so I'll throw that away. It's important to know what to replace. Like, yes, we have Divine Bond lists or elements to it, but we're not at that point yet, right? We're not even close, so there's no point in keeping Divine Bond right now. Yes, we only have 2 in the deck, and we might not see it again, but it's important to know that it's the least valuable card and the least proactive card in our hand. We're looking right now, see, it's turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. We're looking to, you know, maintain board and have, you know, good tempo. So cards like Lasting Judgment and Arclight Sentinel are the ways we'll be using to control board. Same with Dancing Blades. So that's Celebrant. So he's playing Golems. Soon get all the value from it. So you can play another Golem Metallurgist or a what's it called? What's it called? Is that a First Wish? Okay. We can clear that with a Lasting Judgment. Oh, as I said, we don't need Divine Bond. Martyrdom. That could be nice for bigger minions like Kron. Just thinking of what the best play would be. Like, I can spend another 2 cards clearing board and developing an Arclight Sentinel. Or I can just develop a Dancing Blades, which is not bad. I think I like developing the Dancing Blades, because he can't Blood of Air just yet. And then next turn I could do something like Arclight Sentinel and Roar. So it's just Dancing Blades here. Clear that. Call it a turn. Not going to hit with the Azurite Lion. There's no reason to. Giago's fantastic because it forces him to, you know, Sand Swirl or Blood of Air with certain minions. The thing is with Golems, they're not really that great in the late game, but they're still good early because, you know, you just draw all the cards, you have all the minions, and, you know, it's good in that regard. So, also playing around Bone Swarm this way too. See what he has. This would be fantastic time to play like Holy Immolation, right? And I think he's playing around it. We don't have it in the deck, obviously, but if we did, it would be fantastic to play that. Alamancer. Okay. We get rid of the Martyrdom. I think we're fine just without it. As much as I want to play the Giago, I think I just want to maintain tempo. Oh boy. He got the Trigon. I was really hoping he didn't. But we can deal... We can get rid of it. But we cannot play... we cannot play our Arclight Sentinel, unfortunately. I like the Bloodshot Alchemist here. I'm getting low on cards, but we have pretty good control of the board, and that Divine Bond's nice because we can afford to drop Giago, because if he Blood of Airs here, it's one less that he has. So. But we'll see what he has. We'll see. Deotis, huh? I don't think we can do much about that, to be quite honest. So he's going to be... What my guess is he's playing a... obviously a Grapnel list, but I see Deotis, so that means I also think Kron as well. Of which I don't think Arclight Sentinel will be the way to do it. I like the Divine Bond, though. So I'm just going to play the Impervious Giago right here. And I can afford to start hitting him. I'm getting low on cards, so we'll see. This is an easy Blood of Air for him. I don't think I can really do much more that I can't already do. It's probably, or a Sandsoul Reader, that's good too. Crap, no. Okay. Yeah, there's really not much I could do there, honestly. This is looking to be a lost game for this reason only. If it was Ironcliff, it would be a lot better, but yeah, it's probably a lost game. But I still stand by my plays. Let's get rid of that. Cliff Guardian. Okay. Yeah. Put it right there and hope we call that a turn. Two Sojourners are nice, but I don't think we can do much here. Especially with the Blood of Air. That's probably just the nail in the coffin. Yeah, I don't think we can win. And out here would be like Martyrdom, but that would just put him back up to full, and we're low on cards, so. I don't think we can do much, honestly. And he has the healing, so there's absolutely no way we can win. Fortunately. Yeah, there's no way we can win. So I'm just going to concede here. No point in pointing it out. I would like to feature the other decks. That was probably one of the harder lists to beat, honestly. There's really not much more we could have done. So, moving on to Songhai. Cool. I think we had all the things going for us, but we just, Grapnel just, screws our entire our entire game. Maybe if we got Ironcliff instead of Giago, it would have been a different story. So yeah, so we've got to be careful of how we use our silver guard, silver guards, how we use our Mist Dragon seals, right? Primus Fist is good. I don't think we need to. Killing Edge is nice, but I think we can afford to replace it. I like it because it puts things out of Phoenix Fire range. So this can be Arcanist, of which it's not Arcanist. Okay. Key Beholder is like the least likely thing I would like to play here. And I'm just going to call that a turn. And being a spell high list, I think he has to be a little bit concerned about what I'm playing. Because this could easily be a Mind Cage Oni, and if he decides to Phoenix Fire it, I get a Phoenix Fire, and he does Phoenix Fire it. Right? Also got to be wary of our hand size. I don't think we need Inner Focus right now. Can play another Mizuchi and a Primus Fist, which I like. Block off access to these tiles and pretty much just start hitting him. Blaze Hound is good too. Blaze Hound is good. I would imagine this is like a Mantra or like a Kensho Vortex. Knuckle Storm. Two Knuckle Storms. Makes me kind of wish that I had a Mind Cage Oni, but I still stand by the Mizuchi, right? And a Kotatsu. Drawing all the stuff. Alright, so at least he can't meditate his Knuckle Storms. Or his Gotatsus, which I guess is a plus. But we're just going to keep up the aggression. Let's see what we get. It's a Hyogi deck. I like the Sojourner better, so I'm going to replace Key Beholder. Call that a turn. So we got a pretty good pressure on him. He's played two Knuckle Storms, which means the third one will do 3 damage to kill this, but it's much more likely he has something like Cobra Strike or Thunder Bomb. Herrera's problem. I don't like this card in Spell High List. I feel like it just dilutes your deck, right? With all those feathers. Like if you draw it, cool, but it also reduces the chances of you drawing the card you want. So there's a Thunder Bomb, sure. I don't think we need a Mist Dragon Seal, but let's see what we get first. Kaido Assassin. Alright, so our play here would just be to Hatsuke. And Kaido Assassin. I like the idea of Kaido Assassin Killing Edge. But I also like the idea of this not dying to another Gotatsu, so I'm going to actually Mist Dragon this here. Play my Kaido Assassin right here. Call that a turn. So we got a lot of burst in hand, so let's see what he does. If he has the Gotatsu, he might be inclined to just kill the Kaido, but it's also reasonable to just back up against the wall, right? There's a Phoenix Fire. That's good. I like to see that rather than a Gotatsu, right? And a Thunder Bomb, sure. Right, so We can do a lot of damage, quite honest. I don't think we need Miss Dragon. Double killing Edge just seems like so good while developing Hot Seeker, which I kind of like, actually. I don't. What can I replace into? I can replace into Blazehound. I can replace into another Mizuchi, another Sojourner, because this is 8 damage. And I think I'm just going to go for it. See what we get. I'm really inclined to just, replace the Miss Dragon Seal, but that equates to 1 extra points of damage. Blazehound's good. Miss Dragon Seal. I don't really see a need for the Miss Dragon Seal, so I'm going to replace that. Key Beholder's nice, and we're going to put him down to 8. Call it a turn. He needs to deal with the with this Sojourner. Maybe I should have kept the Miss Dragon Seal just on the off chance he can't deal with it, and I could just finish him off that way. But I'm pretty sure between Hot Seeker and Ethereal Blades, we can clear whatever he plays. Plus, he doesn't seem to be running any minions. Hyogi and Komori. All right. I don't think that saves him. Quite honestly. So let's replace Sojourner. Prime his Fist. Yeah, that's game. Right? Because that's a lot of damage. It's 9 damage to be exact. So good game. So this deck pretty much plays like any aggro Riva list. You just gotta make room for the Spelljammers. Spelljammer for Blazehound, Bakazori. As well, Battle Panda, Lantern Fox, and Juxtaposition. Those are all epic, so it's not really expensive, except for what's it called? Spelljammer. Spelljammer is the only legendary, and if there's a legendary to craft right away, it'd probably be Spelljammer, because it's you can pretty much play it in any deck really. So moving on to Vitruvian. We got Sock, which is a pretty good matchup for us, to be quite honest. So we'll see how this goes. We also have a pretty good turn 1 play. We got Falcius, we got Second Wish. Client to replace the Second Wish, but I really like it with like on a Falcius or something. But I can replace it for now. Sand Swirl is interesting, but I don't think it's very necessary against Sock, especially at this point in time. And we have, we'll go with Lava Storm. Is he playing Trial of Vitruvian? He is not. He can equip a Wildfire Ankh and just start shooting me, which would be kind of annoying. But it's really not much better than playing Ethereal is really not much better than playing the Lava Storm Obelisk. So. So I'll just call that a turn. Azure Herald is interesting. And a First Wish. We can clear that. No problem. Oh yeah, we can definitely clear that. What else can we play? Play Fireblaze Dunecaster. And I'll clear that. Don't save the... Save the Falcius for later. I also like blocking him off from this mana as well, so play this Dunecaster aggressively. Call that a turn. Granted, we're not really playing around Blast, but Wildfire Arc I don't think is the strongest, but so. The key to this list is, developing lots of high health obelisks. Un-7. That's very cool. How much damage can we do? We can do 9, 11 to him. Put him down to 9. Is there a reason to play Falcius right now? I don't think so. I like the Sojourner better. And I can play double First Wish to make sure this thing sticks. Oh my gosh, we got all the First Wishes. But we can put him down to 7, which I like a lot. So that's what we're going to do. We're just looking to be aggressive. He's got way too much to deal with. A Blood of Air and Sand Swirl, they won't do anything to help him. If he really wanted like an early Almira healer, in my opinion, he could have just played it right there. In front of the Lava Storm. In my opinion. That could have been, you know, worth playing. This could be an Almira healer. I don't know what else. It could be an Osirix, would be pretty spicy. Or a Dialtis as well. It's Almira, I thought so. Alright. I guess... An Azure Herald, okay. Sure. It's healing up to 10. My Sojourner can get some value in. A Woodwind. I don't think that really does. Actually, it does. It means my Sojourner can't hit him. Which is kind of annoying, actually. What can I do? I can do Falcius. First Wish, I like that actually. Primus Shield Master really doesn't do a whole lot. I'm actually going to First Wish this first. So we happen to draw all 3 of our Sojourners, or our First Wishes, so just put this here. Go to this guy, come up here, hit this, and pretty much just keep pounding him in the face. And yeah, call that a turn. Science Second Wish is nice, actually. I don't know if we could draw a Blood of Air, which we should find by now. That or Sandswell Reader, because we have played, you know, 4. We are +4, right? We got 4 amounts of cards, so we'll see. I could just clear my what's it called? Fireblaze. That would be the correct thing to do. But if I can draw, we do. I don't think I run Primus Fist in this list. Hexblade. We don't route a First Wish, so Second Wish doesn't do it for us. We don't need an Oasis. Sandswirl. Okay, so is that lethal? No, it's not. But it does get us out of a pickle. And like Second Wish. I like the merit of just playing a lot. So this means this doesn't only do 5 attack, because this is when the general damages. Let's put in a 1. Let's just surround him with crap. Call that a turn, because if he plays Provoke right, we can just Blood of Air or Sandswirl next turn and win. Call that a turn. Should be okay here. He's played 2 Azure Heralds. I would assume that's like his only... Actually, we could die here. Probably should have thought about that. Like, I should have played this Pax right here. I should have played it right behind him, because if he plays like a ton of Aurora's Tears, I think we just die. With like a, what's it called? Staff of Ikir. Because right now he heals. Yeah, I should have played it. Okay. But on the bright side, he messed up, because this Almira survives, meaning I can just play Sandsword Reader and kill him. Well played. Yeah, he messed up there. But Blood of Air, pretty much anything would have done it for me, in my opinion. So he could have healed, but that was my fault for not putting the second Pax in the right position. I should have played it to the right behind him, but it's okay. So moving on to Budget Abyssian. Long episode, guys. I apologize. Bear with me. But this is for the budget players that asked for this. So we got Kalios. A little difficult matchup because Demonic Lure really doesn't do anything against Juxt and Miss Dragon Seal. Oh my god. Alright. This is a 5-mana play. But as much as I want to keep both, I don't think I will. Sojourner is good with Chakram, as I said earlier. Demonic Lure, it's nice against an early Scroll Bandit, actually, but Chakri. Okay, we're definitely luring that. And next turn we could do something like, Sojourner, Furiosa, Bloodbound spell. Call that a turn. Interesting to see Chakri and Kalios, but it makes sense. Primus Shieldmaster is good too, and we could just drop that. But I like developing the 2/2s in the Sojourner a little bit better, right? Okay. This Dragon Seal is interesting. Probably like an Assassination Protocol. Kind of sucks. Yeah, Assassination Protocol. So he probably has Thunderhorn as well in his list, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, we're giving him 2 Phoenix Fires. But I think that's okay. I mean, I don't see us having any other play. And I like the Primus Shieldmaster as well. So, play this behind my back. Oh my gosh, I'm out of mana. Oh, I'm so dumb. I can't do math. Oh, that's on me. Oh boy. Oh boy. That means we can't chakra him. Ugh. But on the bright side, if he does use a Phoenix Fire, that only leaves him with 2 mana. This turn, so it could just be like a Scroll Bandit or another Chakri. But it's not Chakri since he just played his Phoenix Fire first. So. Scroll Bandit, this is definitely a Chakram type turn. The question is, do I want to hit first? I want to say no. Move here and play around Mask of Shadows. I think I can afford to hit him. So we're going to play this, draw a couple cards. As I said, we'll draw 2 cards. 2 Primus Shieldmasters are nice. These are all good to have. I can't really think of anything that I can draw that's better. Like Shadow Watcher is good. Shadow Dancer is good too, but we don't really have the board quite just yet. I like the Demonic Lure because it can, combo well with this Sojourner. A bit better. Get rid of the 1 Primus Shieldmaster. See if I can diversify my hand a little bit better. We just get it again. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy I just made that last minute change. So he can just do like all the Smork options with his second Phoenix Fire. But we have 6 mana next for Winds Magi. That's interesting. So an Arcanist, this maybe. That doesn't get rid of my my Chakram though. I'm just saying. All right, so we're gonna play the Primus Shieldmaster. I'm gonna get rid of the Blood Tier. We don't need it. Like, it's nice to get on board, but he has that Phoenix Fire in hand. So I like staying in perfect protect, just in case of like an inner focus. Hold that a turn. Getting pretty low here, so maybe I shouldn't have punched earlier. Prismatic Illusionist. Bamboozle? Come on, man. That's interesting. Okay, sure. Let's get rid of one of the... okay. He does have a Phoenix Fire. I'm going to call that a turn. Like, he has the Phoenix Fire, so I'm going to play this aggressively. So we got our second Chakra, meaning we can possibly just close out the game right now. And all these Wraith things are in position to strike him. So we could just easily kill him. If he can't do anything more. He would need, like, Assassination Protocol plus Thunderhorn or Battle Pando. Battle Pando would be better. But he only has 2 cards in hand, so it should be just game right now with our Chakram. Right? Yep, that's just game. This is more than enough damage. This is 13 plus 15, 17 damage. 17 damage. Chakram's really good. So it's a very good budget option too, especially with Lilith. So hey, we're already gold. What you know? Just a little slight hiccup with Liner, but you know, one with every list so far, which is not bad. So knock on wood. What do we have left? Okay, cool. Oh, we have Magmar and Vanar left. Cool. Getting through them all, but I think you guys are getting an idea on how each deck plays like a tempo list, right? Is pretty much what it comes down to. Some more aggressive than others, but you know, that's just fine. But we got Cassava. I don't think we need 2 Mechantor War Beasts. I like the Greater Fortitude isn't that helpful against Punish. Nor is Blood Tier, but Blood Tier could be good against Blood Tier could be good against Abyssal Crawler, and I like that Young Silthar. It's fantastic. Call that a turn. False Brutality is pretty good too. Right? It's pretty good. This means you can't just kill it right away. Yeah, that's what I thought. This could be a creep list. Double Crawler? Oh man, the dream. Alright. Okay. I don't think we need Gold Metallurgist. I like the Boss Brutality. But I don't think I need to play it just yet. So I will take this tile away from him. Maybe I should play it. I don't think I need to play it. Is there merit just to blocking him off from these tiles? I think so. Stops him from playing like a 4-drop plus a... you can't Sphere of Darkness, but... maybe this is better defensively. Call it a turn. Dancing Blades are good here. They're very good against Vizian because it limits the amount of ping punishes they have, right? So we'll see. And if he uses a ping on something like Young Sildar or Bloody Alchemist, that means there's no ping available for Dancing Blades. And seeing 2 in hand, it makes me inclined to replace Voth's Brutality. Right? But yeah, I think we should be okay. We should be okay. See what he has. Not quite sure. Grasp of Agony. It's a good play. Third Abyssal Crawler. The bright side about this is he has like no hand. So sure, I guess. I don't think we need the Voth's Brutality. Flash Warbeast is tempting, but I don't think we need to do that just yet. And we can just start punching him. Right? Should be okay in that regard. See what he has. See what he has. Yielding Depths. That's good. It's good for him. I think it's if you have 3 more creeps, right? But he's played all of his Abyssal Crawlers. He can still ping punish, which kind of sucks. What's he confused about? I don't think we need the Flash Reincarnation. Like, it's tempting, but if we had like Greater Fortitude, then I might consider it. But we also have to consider our hand size as well. So he ends up just using a ping on me. It's interesting. Punches me, which is interesting, meaning he has probably healing in hand, probably like Desolator or something. I like to save the Mechanters for later. Plus, the Dancing Blades is just a bigger body. Let's hit him for there. It's interesting that he punched me, given my board state. Plasma Storm's good too. Munch is actually very good for him, right? You can clear this. You can clear both of them and heal for a lot. So there's Munch, sure. Leaves him 3 mana to do whatever. And a Demonic Lair. Okay. Plasma Storm is the least likely here. He's just looking for Obliterate, which he probably has in hand. Voth's Brutality, huh? I do want to limit what that can do. And play around. I can't kill him next turn, so there's no reason for me to punch him, right? I really don't know his plan, quite honestly. It's definitely Obliterate, but he has to have more healing in his hand. Painful Pluck. That's the first one. How did he kill me? Painful Pluck. I'm still confused on how he kills me. Oh, Ghost Azalea? This is the last two cards? That's nice. Oh, that sucks. I honestly didn't. I mean, like, it was to be expected, but that was some pretty dang good draws on his part. Oops, I don't want to do that. We're going to go with Vanar as our last one. I don't regret any plays I had. For there, it would be, I think he just simply outdrew us, right? 3 Abyssal Crawlers, the 2 Painful Plucks, and the Ghost Azalea as his last 3 cards, which was nice. Like, I'm not upset about that. It's just, you know, you had a good draw, and people, it happens, you know, it happens. But I think we were in line to win that one, if that didn't happen. So, anywho, we got Starhorn, of which we don't really need this, or this right now, at least. These are all good to have. I like the healing. This dies to Rebuke, so I'm inclined to replace this. So, Magmar has a very difficult time dealing with artifacts. Starhorn not so much, because he does run pinks, you know, Bloodsteel Alchemist, Entropic Gaze, and that's Tectonic Spikes, right? But I like this Freeblade. I like the Freeblade because it has 5 health, meaning if he does play something like Lava Slasher, Freeblade would survive. The question is, which one do I play first, Freeblade or Dowager? Right? Definitely getting rid of one of the Dowagers. Well, let's see. I don't think he's running a trial. This could be Kuhada. That's interesting. Okay. And a Young Selthar, which is interesting because I can just kill it right now. Unless he buffs it. He buffs it. But that's also 3 cards. Which is okay, I guess. I think the Freeblade will do us a whole lot. I could equip... I could equip the Snowpiercer and just kill it, but rather develop this Dowager. Call that a turn. This just could be a Lava Slasher. Sure. That also takes 4 damage, so let's see. Not exactly the easiest matchup for us here, but we just have to hope he runs out of steam, right? But we do have a healing, which is good. I don't think we need this Snowpiercer. I do like Chromatic Cold because it just kills that. Developing another Dowager. We can always just, you know, Dancing Blades. Whatever he plays, like Mechanter, or this Lava Slasher as well. Dancing Blades used to be really, really good with what's a Mechanter. I couldn't really have done a lot there, in my opinion. Especially with like how he's been playing, but some pretty good draws on his end. What can I do here? We're getting very low. Probably just lost, honestly. It's not helping us very much. That Kujata into Greater Fortitude was just, you know, very good. That's the best we can do. Is this really another Mercantor just wins the game, and not much we could be done there. Tectonic Spikes also wins. Surely he knows that. 2 Tectonic Spikes, cool. That's good draws on his end. Couldn't have done much about it, honestly. Right? Kujata into the Young Selthar was perfect with the Greater Fortitude, and then the Lava Slasher into Mercantor. Really couldn't have done anything more about it. But these aren't the type of lists that I'm really expected that these decks are designed to play. These decks are meant to beat more control. The last 2 we had were like, people are just playing random stuff right now. And I think Kolos the Dragon had it pretty spot on. People are just playing, as he said, just random, as I quote here, random shit decks. And like these are examples of it. Like for like the Abyssian one, definitely. The Songhai Kalios player, just random decks. Because there's no tier lists and there's nothing to net deck, so you can't tailor your decks to combat those specific lists. And especially with Wanderer on top, you can't tailor your decks to deal with everything Wanderer has, because they have 1 copy of everything. But the way you beat Wanderer, as I said earlier, would be with aggro lists such as these. But these decks should easily get you into Diamond, no problem. S rank, if you play correctly, it should be a thing. But ultimately, it's up to you how you want to play this game, right? So yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this budget review updates, because I know a lot of people have been asking for budget lists. So these are the lists that I came up with. Hope they meet your standards, and they definitely did okay. I'm okay with it, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll do some more constructed decks later with my own taste to it. Vanar and Vitruvian specifically. So yeah, happy Friday, guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.